Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me today. It's Allan Laboucan with the Rocks and Stocks News Show. We got a special occasion here. The guys at 9 Mile Metals just put out some great looking drill core in a news release. I don't know if people understand how unique it is to go after two geophysical targets and hit with both of them, and they're 20 kilometers apart. Congratulations, guys, and thank you very much for joining me today.
Oh, thanks for inviting us again, Allan.
Well, not that long ago, you had some nice looking core out from the California Lake target, and this morning you put out some more of that nice looking core.
It's becoming a bit of a habit, eh? Yeah, we're very happy with the program so far. Everyone's got to remember, on California Lake, this drill program is based on just reprocessing geophysical data. It's not as advanced as 9 Mile Brook, where we've done EM grids, IP grids on the ground, and we've flown our UAV drones and reprocessed all that with 3D. This is our first pass on California Lake, and we're more than excited to deliver the news that we have hit a VMS system on the California Lake property.
Well, those guys at EarthX are doing a fantastic job for you guys, reprocessing that and really running it through their expert system to refine and define targets, because I mean, to go after two geophysical anomalies, yes, they had, in the case of California Lake, a showing, but Gary, you know how hard that is to do.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, this has been quite a success story.
Yeah, I mean, and remember, we kept this to a short hole program, right? So, we're keeping it to 80 to 100 meters per hole, because we're not going to drill 300-400 meter holes without doing some deep geophysics, right? So this is a nice surprise. We don't believe it's completely a surprise, but we did use EarthEX's geophysical interpretation and the strong conductive response and the reprocessed geophysics. And yeah, as you can say, it's very, very exceptional to hit on a very early stage shallow drill program, but we wanted to show the exceptional portfolio we believe we have for 9 Mile Metals, which is the California Lake project, the Canoe Landing Lake project, and obviously our flagship 9 Mile Brook.
It's truly unique to go after two geophysical anomalies like that and tag massive sulphides in both of them. I was really excited about California Lake, but to be honest, going off of reprocessed geophysics and a showing, I wasn't betting the farm on it, let's say, but to hit that massive sulfide I looked at the drill core and it's practically full of sulfides. That's a very unique situation. I can't say it enough.
Yeah, I mean,
and the sulfides in the core, there's very little matrix to it. It's about 95%, and you can see like it's typical BMC style mineralization. A lot of pyrite, but there's zinc and lead and chalcopyrite with it, the copper.
And that's pretty consistent with VMS deposits, right? They're dominated by pyrite.
Yeah,
it's part of the sequence. Yes,
exactly. So you guys are hitting what you're shooting for.
Yeah, we're hitting a high standard for ourselves to keep to, aren't we?
Well, I mean, I go back to that work that EarthX is doing. I mean, You know, I think they're going to become rock stars if they keep doing this for you guys. And to do it, it speaks highly of the work that they're doing and the project ground that you guys have. And then to have that happening in such an important VMS mining camp is truly special.
Well, don't forget, with the geology for our programs and our projects, we're trying to keep to that California Lake, Spruce Lake formation, which goes through all three of our projects, because that is the premier event 470 million years ago. And we're really concentrating on those contacts between that and the Quisiquit formation. And yeah, EarthEX, we've been working them for 2 years, and can't say enough about them. I just hope they don't get too big and stop taking our calls.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen, because if anybody knows how hard it is to match geophysical anomalies with the truth machine, it will be those guys. So that's a big feather in their cap working with you guys.
Yeah, and we're trying to keep up with the holes. Obviously, with a shallow program and shorter holes, you got to move the rig sooner. You don't have a 400 or 500 meter hole that takes a week to drill, so you can catch up for those 5 to 7 days. When you're moving the rig in a day or a day and a half to 2 days, we're trying to catch up with all the core, log it, measure it, RQD, also photograph it, cut it, and then we always XRF with our model in-house and identify all the samples for sending to certified lab assays at ALS Global. So
I don't know if it takes I don't know if it takes an XRF machine to see the sulfides to send to the lab.
Well, those are the easy sulfides. It's below and above the zones, right? So
Gotcha.
and just doing part of our model and our due diligence, we're very tech centric, so doing the best job that we can. I wish we had a little bit more sleep, but we'll all sleep afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Well, before you guys started that drill program, I was quite impressed with the conversation we had. People can find that on the YouTube. You guys shared some good geophysics, good geophysical images there, and kind of looked like a chain of pearls right beside that showing. So you probably got a fair bit of work there at California Lake.
Yeah, I mean, the system's about 1.5 kilometers long, and we have, I'll let Gary.
Yeah, they've identified through the reprocessing the megatem on just that one claim we've got. I think it's 1.5 kilometers, and this is pretty much they say about a third of the way into it. So this has let us sort of give us an anchor, and we can expand from there with some detailed geophysics.
Did you have some
Don't forget, this is only one target, Allan, at California Lake, right? Yep. But what it does is our goal was to identify a system, obviously find VMS, but also secure a big enough project that would warrant the investment of the drone and the ground-based EM and IP and so on over the whole 1.5 kilometers. But that's only one target on the bigger California Lake project, just so you remember, like the west side of the project, very, very excited about that, but obviously a bigger project for next year.
Well, Patrick, if I learned one thing in exploration, it's that everybody says they've got lots of targets, but to be able to back those targets up with the truth machine is a whole different ball of wax, and you guys are doing that in spades.
We're doing our best. Gary would like to share some core.
Let's have a look at that sweet looking drill core.
And this is from hole number 6 that we and then you can wet it if you want with water.
But again, nice solid VMS.
I can't believe that. It reminds me of I think I told you guys that a company I worked for in the past did some work in Wow.
You can see- Yeah,
Just
beautiful.
a company I worked for did some work in the past in the Iberian Pyrite Belt, and our geologist got a chance to go over to Nevis Corvo, and he got a big chunk of sulfides, and it was about this big, and we had it on our boardroom table where we had lunch, and I would pick that thing up, and it was very inspiring, and to see what you guys are drilling into, just top to bottom filled with sulfides.
Like this is just one sample bag, right? And you
Yeah,
can definitely feel the weight, right? So
yeah.
this is all cut, ready to go to the labs. We're like I said, we're working overtime, trying to process as quickly as possible and get it out the door. Because there is a lag with the labs, as you know, because the problem is we have gold in VMS, so the fire assays are slower
Take
than
longer.
normal.
Right.
And the shortage of fire crucibles in that process, but we are running as fast as we can. So
I don't want to
can't
press you.
wait to share the summary at California Lake, right? Like can't wait to give you a complete summary when it's all tabulated, but I'm sure we'll be able to have some more news shortly.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see the plan map in relation to the geophysics and the showing and some cross sections and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, and don't forget on California Lake, we didn't have outcrop. So we drilled those 2 orientation holes to see the sequence and see, because you can see by some of the core pictures that were press released, you can see how twisted and sheared up all that drill core is too. So you need to see underground, and Gary needs to really get an understanding of how folded it is and the plumbing underground. So we did those 2 holes, and then we're testing some new targets, and we'll be releasing as we go through the logging and so on with the rest of the holes in the program.
You guys had a lot of success in the past, and everybody's been asking me about the XRF. You guys drilled that lens and released the XRF, and the XRF and assay results came back really close to each other. Are you going to follow that protocol, or what's your plans?
Well, we XRF everything in-house anyway with the same process, and we calibrate the XRF, and we use standards and blanks and so on. And we were very happy to say that our XRF machine comes in conservative to those blanks and standards. We do that test, and it's in all of our sample sequences before and goes to the lab that way. So yeah, we that's part of our model. We do that in-house anyway. We'll have to see if we release those numbers. We took some heat last time, some people liked it, some people didn't, but we use it the way the government uses it, right? And the DNR. So, so many hits per, 40, 50 hits per meter. I mean, you get a good average, and it's blind, right? And it's cut, and so we'll see on that one.
I wouldn't pay too much attention to those old timers complaining about it. You guys are using some very unique methods, and you're doing it in a very scientifically sound method. And the quality of the work that you did with that really stands out, because you didn't see anything out of the ordinary with your sometimes people use XRFs and they can be selectively sampling. You guys did it in a very methodical manner, and that bared out when you did the assays. So I wouldn't let those old timers that bitch about that kind of stuff bother you too much.
Well, we do it in a controlled environment. We do it in a chamber, right? We're not holding the gun in the field and pointing at a vein. Right, we're doing it blind in the chamber, so it's a very useful tool for us. We utilize it, we respect it, and it's part of our model and our method for sure.
I'm really impressed with the way you guys are methodically doing everything, and you're kind of bringing the industry into this century or this millennium anyways, and I like that. I think we need more of that kind of stuff in the business, guys. So I'm applauding the work you're doing. You're doing it in a very smart way.
Well, and just remember, it doesn't reflect the gold and silver.
Yes.
But, there is an indication when you get certain elements, the lead, the zinc, and depending on those results, that, there's a correlation with the silver. And, I mean, to put the lens and our project results in perspective, the average result in the camp is between 0.3 and 0.5 copper percent. 5 to 6% combined lead zinc, right? 30 grams per ton silver, about 1 ounce, and it's about 0.25 to 0.4 gold per ton. So if that's the hurdle, that lens is something special. It is out there by itself, and we had the government come in and review for hole 6, 6 and 7. And again, we had a conversation about the lens, and wow, it's so close to the vent is the answer, and it is so special. There's nothing like it reported, period. So,
and that's not just any kind of camp. That's one of the top 3 camps in the world. And these are the best results from an important camp.
They're not even close. They are so far above, like even the Brunswick number 12, it had amazing tonnage, but the grade was, 10-12% combined and about 0.5 copper and the standard, a little higher on the lead zinc. But this lens is special, and we can't wait to get started on 9 Mile Brook.
Well, neither can I. That is something. Lately, I don't know if I'm out of school or whatever, but I'm thinking that has the potential to be the jewel in the crown of a very important camp, especially if you can find the source of where it came from.
I can only agree with you.
And my suspicions are you're not that far away from the potential source.
Well, we're trying to de-risk it as much as we can and getting as much data through EarthEX. And if you remember, we did the physical core analysis on 9 Mile Brook, and it came back with massive conductivity, which we knew, right? The typical EM. But what was a major surprise was the chargeability response was off the charts. So it was almost on par with the conductivity. And that's when we decided to do the orientation grid with the IP and the EM and see if the new experiment will yield some tasty results by if we can pick up that high copper, high gold at the same target as a conductivity for the regular technology for finding massive sulfides. I think we might be on to something new, and EarthEX has been phenomenal in recommending that, and we're going to be using that technology in 9 Mile Brook.
Well, you got a heck of a good suspect there as the source at that hinge, and it shows up in the geophysics as well, and it's not very far from a thick lens that's got super high grade. So I think your suspect is very close.
Well, this is back to EarthEX and their technology and their algorithms and the quality, the groundbreaking work that they do. And because if you look at the old geophysics and the old mag, prior to the drone,
noisy.
Well, that's what people had to work on. So this was hidden, Allan. It was hidden till now. So, people can say, why have nobody drilled here? Why has nobody found it? Well, the technology wasn't there, and to isolate and focus on the real scientific target that makes sense geologically and through the formation of this, as well as the EM and the IP and so on. It's, a lot of people, government and shareholders and us and people in the industry and technology-based people are almost biting at their fingers to see what comes out of this next drill program.
Well, not just that drill program, but these VMSs occur in clusters, and you've got other geophysical anomalies that now that you're sort of proving a concept of the work that EX is doing, that highlights those as, it ramps them up as far as the quality goes quite dramatically now that you're proving it up with the truth machine.
Well, if you remember, in past press releases, we have about 5 to 10, at least 5 target areas that are not connected. Remember, so we have our lens type areas. We have the 2 folded hinge noses with the plunging anomalies. But then we have the targets to the northwest, which is on that contact of the California Lake and Spruce Lake Formation, and that we think is completely unrelated. So we have quality targets, and we'll see what we do in this next drill program, because the only hole that, like we're making this joke on California, the only hole that was in the collar that was planned was the first one, because you make adjustments on the ground based on the hole and what comes out of the core and the sequence and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, they're within meters, but direction and azimuth and dip and all that kind of stuff. And kudos to Gary and Gary's clone that goes out there
Middle of the
night, 24 hours a day. This poor gentleman has to get out there and work and move rigs and line them up and make those decisions on the ground. So we're going to make 2 or 3 of Gary's and clone him 3 or 4 times, so we get a couple of rigs going at once, right?
Well, I've been there. I've been that guy that has to make those decisions, and it can be a bit stressful. But Gary, the truth machine is speaking for you, and good on you, man. Keep up the great work, guys. Was there anything you wanted to close with?
No, I mean, we're working as fast as we can. We're super excited. Our goal was to locate some mineralization and some VMS and actually prove up a target or a target system on California Lake for the company, for the portfolio, for the shareholders, and show that our portfolio, not just 9 Mile Brook, which is exceptional and a special project, we do have quality projects in the portfolio, and this is going to be an very exciting next couple of years here for 9 Mile Metals as a whole, and who knows what other projects are down the road, right? Well,
I think you guys got a lot there to do.
So thank you again for inviting us. We'd like to come back maybe later in the week.
Later in the week, anytime you guys want to come on.
And please invite us back. Maybe don't wait as long next time, and we'll bring some more news. We love to share our news. We'd like to be transparent. We'd like to share as much as we can. We think it's special.
You guys the door is open for you guys to come on anytime. I love talking about this project, and I look forward to anything you guys want to talk about.
Well, one day you got to come do a site visit, my friend.
All right. Well, I'll see what I can do. It's pretty sunny and warm here in Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you'll be coming in the middle of the winter. That's true.
Let me close it off, guys.
Thanks. Thank you, Allan. Thank you.
Let you get back, and I'm just going to close things off. You guys can listen in if you want to. So, folks, I'm very bullish on copper, and I'm very bullish on this project because it's in elephant country. You know, I spent a bit of my career working on some projects in the Iberian Pyrite Belt, which is the number one important belt in the world. But this New Brunswick area is top three kind of thing. And these guys are really an elephant country, and they're doing some unique work with the geophysics and using expert systems to refine what Patrick mentioned was a very noisy geophysical area, and they're able to narrow that search and hit with the truth machine. That, my friends, is not an easy thing to do. I've been in this business since 1993, and I've seen a lot of companies go after geophysical anomalies and get dusters. These guys are 2 for 2 so far, and I'm really impressed with the work that EarthEX is doing, the work that Gary's doing to pick the targets and point the drill rig in the right direction. I really like that this is such an important mining camp, and these guys are finding fresh, new, massive sulfides in an important mining camp, and they still only have a valuation of $21 million. I think that these guys are onto something really special, and if you're as bullish on copper, zinc, gold, and silver as I am, this is one you want to pay attention to and do your homework on. I've had a couple interviews now with the guys at 9 Mile. You can find that on my YouTube channel. Also go to their new website where they got plenty of information. They got a new corporate presentation out. Check all that out. Do your homework, and I think you'll be rewarded well to do that homework. These guys are doing some unique work, and it's bearing fruit. So on that note, stay tuned for more of these interviews. Do your homework, speak with your financial advisors, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, guys, for joining us from the core shack there.
Thank you, Allan.
All right, have a great day. Adios.
Take care.